Let's use this simulation to understand what's happening in projectile motion. In this simulation, we have a Canon. We're going to point it directly upwards, and we kind of want to analyze what's going on with both the velocity and acceleration vectors as a ball is shot into the air. So what we're going to see is as the ball is fired, it's going to have a velocity vector. And as it's going up, there's a negative acceleration, meaning it's going to be slowing down. So there's an acceleration vector, it's yellow, it's always going to be the same size and it's always going to be pointed downwards. That's because if we fire something into the air, it's always experiencing that acceleration due to gravity, and it's always going to want to be pulled down to the surface. So as the ball goes up, it's going to get slower and slower, and we're going to see the green velocity vector become smaller and smaller in magnitude. Remember, the magnitude of a velocity is the length of that vector. So it's becoming smaller and smaller until it reaches the apex, or at maximum height. At maximum height, the ball will actually stop momentarily, and then it's going to head back down. At the top, velocity is 0, but the acceleration is still negative 9.81 meters per second, but then it travels downwards back towards the surface of the Earth. As it goes down, it's accelerating faster and faster, and you're going to see that green velocity vector get larger and larger, but this time it's pointed downwards towards the surface of the Earth. So let's take a look at the simulation to see exactly what we're talking about here. So we're going to fire the cannon and take a look at what we're seeing. The acceleration vector is here. It's always going to be that size, and it's always going to be towards the surface of the Earth. This green vector is the velocity vector. It's going to start to get smaller as we continue, and it reaches the apex. So it's getting smaller, 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 and it reaches the top here. At the top, I stopped it a little bit too late. It becomes 0 and it disappears, and then it starts going downwards. As it goes downwards, this green velocity vector gets larger and larger, but notice that that yellow vector has always maintained the same size. So it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it gets maximum once it hits the surface of the Earth. So that's exactly what's going on when we fire something up into the air. You can kind of use this simulation to explore the interplay between the velocity and acceleration vectors. And if you have any questions, contact me in private discussions.